All right, friends, it's T-Man, and we back with another video. It's Vegan Gains, man. It's a live feed. He's popped up here, and I don't know. I'm gonna review the live feed. Yeah, man. Let's see what he says.
Different. They have a different skin color. They're, I don't know, have a lot of hair or something. Does consent matter?
Yeah, sure. I think.
They'll make sense at the end.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Okay. What if the person who wants to take you back to their home, or that other person, really wants to do it?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Because
Consent.
That's what I want to do.
Exactly. Consent still matters. Okay. What if it benefits the other person? It gives them pleasure or something.
Still doesn't matter. I mean, it matters if I like.
Okay, I thought this was gonna be like veganism stuff, but maybe it is. Let's see. I don't know. It looked like it was.
If I want to do it and it pleasures the other person, it's all right because it benefits both of us, right?
Yeah. But let's say, even if it benefited you, if it's against your consent, would you still? It doesn't matter what the person looks like. It doesn't matter what state they're in. It doesn't matter whether you can understand what's happening. Do you think consent matters in those situations? Okay.
As a start. So, I mean, I sometimes eat meat, but I generally don't eat meat. And I think it's a controversial topic. No, it's not. Because, like, moral and stuff, I don't think you can.
Come on, man. Why is she trying to play the nice person? Sometimes I eat meat. Sometimes I don't eat meat. Sometimes I eat my natural diet. And sometimes I don't eat my natural diet. That makes absolutely no sense. Oh, I'm trying to wing off eating my natural diet so I can be sick and unhealthy. That doesn't make any sense, man, either. Whatever.
Justify putting all the animals in this type of situation.
I can't justify putting these animals in this situation. You mean when you run out in nature and you hunt to eat, to survive? That's how this world is made. This is like a biosphere you live in, floating in space in a circle, flying around on a spaceship. This is the biosphere, the biohemisphere, whatever you want to call it. And these animals are for you. They're roaming around for you because you just happen to be a carnivore. If you were a herbivore, then you would be grazing on grass all day. You wouldn't be able to get anything done. You wouldn't be able to do anything. You understand me? Yeah.
Cannot. I mean, you can say because, okay, it's my pleasure. I want to eat animals, by example.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's your pleasure. You want to eat animals? No, it's your natural diet, and it is not deficient. It is not deficient in any proteins, amino acid, and vitamins. So there's no deficiency. And science is actually discovering there are actually more nutrients. They haven't even classified them yet that has been found in meat, which is your natural diet, meat, because that's what you would eat out in nature as a natural human. But because you're domesticated, in order for them to domesticate you, they put you in this artificial environment, feeding you artificial plant foods. Plants are artificial foods. For humans, plants are artificial foods. Natural foods is meat products, meat, animals, preferably herbivore animals. We don't eat carnivore animals. They make us sick, okay?
Not a good justification. It's not any justification.
And no, we are not evolving because we're trying to eat more. We're trying to live a much more artificial lifestyle, doing artificial things, going and whatever, eating artificial food and a bunch of stuff. No, that doesn't evolve you. That domesticates you, and it actually devolves people.
It won't be a. I mean, you can do that if you want to. Okay, just do it. But there is no justification. You should be aware of that. That's my opinion.
There's no justification for what? To eat meat? What are you talking about? Have you seen the vegan compilations? Have you seen the vegan compilations 2020, 21, 2019? Look what happened to them.
I'll come back to you. What do you think about it?
Yes, I think it's very hard to.
Look at Vegan Gains. He's really watching these people attentively. I don't know. Let's
to
see
say
what he
something
says.
about that because yes, it's absolute. The moral about the topic is very.
Yeah.
It's not good.
What's the moral? You mean the fact that we don't hunt anymore and we live in this artificial thing called cities, and so we have people doing different jobs so that we can enjoy buying products all day with our money. So you do your job, I do my job. I kill the animal, they process the animal, they chop the animal, the other guy sells the animal, while you go and do whatever job that you want to do, like maybe be a lawyer in a building. Like, I mean, come on, are we splitting up all these things? What purpose? What is the purpose then behind it? Why don't we just stay in nature, hunt and live out in nature? Oh, because we need comfort. Comfort. We need to be comfortable, yes. I guess we weren't comfortable enough in nature, were we?
So, but I'm not. I'm not a good example because I eat meat. So
He's not a good example because he eats meat. That doesn't make sense. All humans eat meat. All humans eat meat. And those who don't eat it and try to survive on an artificial diet will eventually eat animal and meat products. Yes.
Find it
Definitely-
immoral? Immoral? Do you find it? Do you
Yes,
find it
of
immoral?
course.
Yeah. So then, if you find it immoral,
How could you find something that's natural, your natural diet, immoral? That's crazy. That's like asking a lion, don't you find it immoral that you have to kill animals and eat it? Well, they're gonna tell you that's what they do. It's survival. T-Rex and all these other dinosaurs, what were they? Carnivorous. They're carnivores, man. They hate meat.
immoral, and yet you still participate in it. Doesn't that make it a contradiction?
yes, of course.
Yeah.
But in today's century, we are very comfortable.
Yeah.
So
That's
What do you-
what did I say? That's the word. Comfortable. We are very comfortable. We are comfortable doing this job, that job, this job, that job. See what I mean? They are killing these animals in a humane way, but our population is growing and growing and growing because of an artificial diet. Breeding, man, these farms that are producing these artificial plants, which are engineered by man, are destroying the environment. Their pesticides are leaking out into the water, the air. They're poisoning us because they're filled with toxins and poisons, and they're deficient in nutrients and proteins. They're destroying our health and a whole bunch of stuff. The entire industry survives off this artificial diet. If you were to go on your natural, everybody went back on their natural carnivorous diet, then all of this, the dentists, the doctors, the pharmacy, the health food stores, they wouldn't exist. They'd be all gone. A whole wide array of jobs would just disappear. They would be gone. None of this would exist even. We wouldn't even need to be here anymore. Pretty much. They survive off the vials of your pain and suffering. That's what they survive off of. So I don't understand. Vegan is something new. It's a movement. It's a movement. It's a cult or a religion, a movement, like anything else. It's how should I put it? It's to domesticate you. I believe it was concocted by some governmental group and then pushed out in the public to further domesticate you. The more they domesticate you, the more they have control over you. See what I mean? They don't like big, strong people out there, that's for sure. Or too intelligent. They need a working class. They need stupid people. They need you to do bad in school because they need a working class out there to do the physical work. There's not enough slaves out there to do the work as it is. So, yeah. Why do you think Bill Gates wants to take away meat from you and this vegan cult wants to take it away? They actually want to take it away. That's the whole thing. It's not the fact that they want to be vegan. They want to impose their veganism or their cult upon you so that they can that whatever, for whatever reason, they're going to say, man, I don't know what it is. It's morals, whatever, because they're going to tell you that these poor animals are being killed and eaten Yeah, they've been being killed and eaten for centuries. Why now all of a sudden? What's the difference now than centuries ago? People have been eating meat and animals, killing them for centuries. But why now all of a sudden? What's the difference now?
Thinks that should dictate whether we force this.
So of course it's very unmoral. So
Yeah.
I think
What's immoral? To eat your natural diet? How can that be immoral? That's ridiculous.
every human here know that's very unmoral and that
What's immoral? To kill animals and eat them? To kill them or to eat them? It's immoral to kill an animal and leave it there to rot. That's immoral, yes. But it's not immoral to kill an animal and eat it. You understand me? Everything on this planet gets recycled. It's recycled. It's energy. It's recyclable, this energy. So, and everything has a life and it dies. Everything is born and dies here. Nothing lasts.
animals deserve a better life.
Yeah.
Animals deserve a better life. They give them a good life, and then it's time, and then their life ends. It's like this: whether you die today or tomorrow is inconsequential because you're dead. You wouldn't even know that you're dead because you died. Some people will say, "Well, he died young." What is young? Does it really matter? He's dead. He doesn't even know he's dead because he died. You understand me? It wouldn't matter had he died today or tomorrow. It won't matter whether you die today or tomorrow because you won't know because you'll be dead. That doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
But was heißt Umfeld?
The surrounding, like the people surround you.
Yeah.
Vegan Gains is drinking a Coca-Cola. Man, that stuff is filled with fructose. Nasty corn syrup, man. That's high fructose. Coke is really nasty. I think it has like phosphoric acid in there. It eats the shit out of your bones. He was complaining in a feed recently, just today, he did a workout video, and he was complaining how he was, I don't know, he has some kind of injuries. He's suffering from a whole bunch of stuff, bones and injuries, and that's weakness. If you're getting injured all the time, that's a weakness. That's weakness in your body. Yeah, you're getting weaker. You're not getting stronger. You may be lifting something. You may be strong at lifts through a motor unit, through this neurological motor unit pushing weights. But guess what? You're physically deteriorating. You're getting weak.
The people surround me and the conditions around us doesn't give to the people that it's unmoral. So
Yeah.
it's very difficult for us.
But you see, that's why I asked these questions, right? Because one of the questions is, what if everybody's doing it? Does it make it better? It doesn't, right?
No, it doesn't.
So in that sense,
Everybody is doing it. I would say, except for a few, everybody's doing it until they. Everybody's doing it, and then there are those that try not to do it, to try to make a fake artificial diet work, and then it doesn't work, and then they try to make it work and until it doesn't work anymore, and then where do they all go? Carnivore diet. Where else can they go? Here's the thing. When the vegan compilations, when they fail, because I can't bring it up now, I have it in another video I did previously. When the vegans fail at their diet, where do they turn to eat? What do they eat after it fails them? Think about that for a second. Carnivore diet. Man,
just,
why is their hair falling out and their nails and their teeth falling out and they're deteriorating? Because your body is allocating resources now to keep you alive. Your body is just there to keep you alive. That's what it does, to keep you alive in this physical realm. That's it. That's its job.
even if everybody does it around you, doesn't necessarily mean that you doing it is okay, does it?
Just because everybody else around you is doing it, it doesn't mean it's okay for you to do it. Eat your natural diet. What?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So then, because I sit here and I have conversations with people, I try to have productive conversations with people regarding veganism. Do you know what veganism is?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Can you?
Yes, I'll tell you what it is, okay? It is man-made. It's fake. It doesn't exist. Veganism is something man-made. It doesn't exist. That's all. And what do they do in veganism? Well, they eat an artificial diet called plants. That's what they're doing. They eat artificial diet plants, which is not a human diet.
Just
So also we are coming from Germany, and also in Germany there's a very big debate about the veganism. And
Yeah, it is.
but yes, I think that
It's really based on, I believe it's based on morals, which morals don't exist in nature. Morals don't exist, but it's based on morals. They believe that these animals are being tortured and then killed. But what if they weren't tortured and killed? What if they were just killed humanely to eat? Well, that's still not good enough for them. Get it? Apparently that's still not good enough, so they have to, here's the thing, they're most likely being killed humanely, but that is not good enough for vegans. They have to how should I put it? They have to brainwash you into believing that these animals are being tortured before they're being killed. They're being tortured. They're being raped. They're being tortured before they're killed. Before you can eat them. Get it? They have to convince you that something bad is happening before you eat it. So that's why you shouldn't eat it, because they're being tortured before they're being killed. Well, I thought they're being killed. No, no, no. They're being tortured before they're being killed. So that's immoral. So you shouldn't eat meat. Yeah, you should starve yourself. You should starve yourself to death, fall apart, deteriorate, and die a slow death, a slow, agonizing death of starvation. Okay.
that a lot of people that are try to die das halt so rüberbringen wollen, die try to
Was willst du sagen?
ja, die das halt übermitteln wollen, die diesen Veganismus durchsetzen wollen.
Ja, und was ist mit denen?
Ja, die machen das halt teilweise falsch.
Ah, okay. He's trying to say that the people who support veganism are supporting it wrongly, because there actually is a
it's
German
very-
woman, and she's extreme, and she
Oh, they're talking about militant vegan? Oh my god. Dude, it's so retarded. They say it's they admit they're contradicting themselves when they say it's wrong to force animals into slaughterhouses. But then they say, well, I'm still going to support it even though it's wrong. But then they say it's wrong to force people.
They're forcing these animals into slaughterhouses. Well, the animal doesn't know it's being slaughtered. But okay, yeah. Yeah, you can call them slaughter. I lived around a slaughterhouse in the past. There was a slaughterhouse called Canada Packers. I actually lived by the slaughterhouse. I remember riding my bike by there. The smell from the animals and everything. It was all open down the street there. I mean, it was literally open. You can see animals running through the barracks and everything. That whole area was completely open. It was very old-fashioned. So yeah, and back in those days, 70s and even the 80s, wow, it wasn't until the 90s they closed that place down, and it's gone now. But right in the middle of the city, I remember when a cow got loose one time. A cow ran out of there. They were opening the door, and the cows were coming out. One cow ran out into the street. But yeah, that was a slaughterhouse there, and they processed the meat there too. They processed meat there. They sold it, cut it, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it was all open in those days.
To go vegan. Like, if they're fine with forcing animals to go into a slaughterhouse, then I don't know how they have any logically consistent basis to say it's wrong to.
Well, unless they can allow us to go out in nature with a spear like we did in the past, and we can, kill our own game. But I really doubt that's going to happen. So unfortunately, they're going to have to hunt these animals for us. And, to tell you the truth, I think it's a lot more humane for them to use. They use a pistol gun in cows, right? The pistol gun hits the brain of the cow, and the cow just dies automatically. But in nature, when you throw a spear, that cow will not die right away. Now that's what I consider torture before killing them. So I don't know why they're saying in the modern world we are torturing them before we kill them. And in fact, we just kill them. But in nature, you actually torture them and then kill them because you're stabbing them repeatedly with a spear, right? I mean, that's how we hunted, right? I mean, if you were to hit the animal with a spear, you most likely wouldn't kill him off the bat. He's gonna definitely be hurt and fall down. I've been to bullfights. I've seen bulls like they've been stabbed. Like they were stabbed with fucking spears. I saw a guy put a sword down the back of a bull and he still kept running. And he still kept fighting, and blood was squirting out of his nostrils, nose. Blood was going all over the place. So I would consider that torture before they killed the bull. That's torture, bullfights. And they still do bullfights to this day. Where are vegans when it comes to bullfights? Why don't they go down to South America and stop all the bullfights? What about the cockfights that are down there in Mexico and Central South America and Spain? All these cockfights and dog fights and cockfights and fucking bullfights. Why don't they go down there and protest and see and find out really quick what's going to happen to them? This so-called veganism that may work in North America, but that shit ain't going to work in those countries. I'm telling you, that shit ain't going to work in those third world countries. They don't give a shit about veganism.
Force people to go vegan.
Shouts at people,
Yes.
and she.
I think it's a
We can talk
wrong-
about that though. But
They want to force people to go veganism. You want to force us to eat an unnatural diet? But why? Why do you want to force us to eat an unnatural diet so we can starve to death? But why? Why do you want us to suffer and starve to death and die? I don't understand this.
later, I understand what you mean. But
Yes.
well, what do you think veganism is before we dive into that?
Well, people.
Again, it's nothing. It's not based on anything. It's another thing to domesticate you. You understand me? It's another invention by man. It's fake. It doesn't exist, veganism.
Who live vegan, that's veganism for me.
Yeah, but what is it like?
Well,
what does it mean to live vegan?
Not eating meat, not containing, not like
Animal
enclosed.
products.
Yeah.
Just not eating animals. He says animal products. You mean processed products made from animals? Man, I don't eat any of those things, but whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. I don't know, why do they do that? Here's the thing. Not only do they sell, you go to the meat aisle and you'll see natural animals cut up in pieces and in packages, right? Okay. Why do they process these meat and make these weird meatballs and things and sausages and weird things out of it? Why do they do that? Because money's involved. It gives people jobs and they got something to do. But the truth is, when they do that, they've destroyed it. So, yeah, that doesn't make any sense either.
No animal products in every part of your life.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's clothing, if it's food, if it's, I don't know, whatever.
And why do you think we do that?
Well, because of the animals.
Exactly.
Well, they do it because of money. They do it for money. I think people are really gone, man. They're gone out of their mind. Everything we do in this artificial environment that you live in is for money. I mean, look at Vegan Gains. Why is he paying my rent? Why is he doing this? Whatever it is he's doing here, for money. He's doing it for money. See what I mean?
So veganism is a moral principle. It's not a diet. It's not
Yeah,
anything
no,
else. It's
no.
a moral principle and a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Where we oppose the
It is a moral and it's a lifestyle. I don't know. Man, yeah. It's morals, based on morals.
modification of animals. That means we don't want animals to be treated as objects, right? Because in all of these industries, if you think about the animal agriculture, animals are treated like objects, right? The farmers care for them, but the minute they're no longer useful to the farmer or they don't make money for the farmer, they're gone. They go to a slaughterhouse, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, they are pretty much just like objects.
Yeah.
And we don't want them to be exploited.
Mhm.
So what about that do you find relatable?
Wow, this must be the modern society, domesticated society. Well, we have nothing better else to do in our life, so let's make up this thing called veganism and suffer and cause everybody else to suffer and put it on them and get angry, overfed, undernourished, eating an artificial diet, and let's go out and talk about it and more social media. Man, at the end of the day, all these people are all hypocrites because I'll tell you the truth is they're causing more death to animals by taking their land away from them. I'll explain this, man. Farming is artificial. It doesn't exist in nature. So if you're farming, you're destroying the environment, and you're destroying animals because you're taking away from the environment where they would live. See what I mean? And plus, you're aiding in exploding the population. Even though they're overfed, undernourished, they're completely eating all day. I mean, what's sustaining them? The little bit that is sustaining them is the animal products. Is still sustaining these people, but they look defeated and diminished these days. They're getting worse and worse. Their health is getting worse. There's all these problems. It's ridiculous, man. It's just getting worse. People are becoming infertile. All this weird sexes are coming out. Penises are shrinking. Testicles are shrinking. Testosterone's low. Man, people are just becoming so domesticated because of all these things.
Well, would you agree with that definition? Would you say I align with that? Do you align with that definition of not exploiting animals?
Generally, yes.
Generally, what?
Yeah, you shouldn't exploit animals. I don't believe in zoos. They don't belong there. I don't go to zoos. I don't go to visit animals in zoos. I believe animals belong out in nature. So, yeah. As far as hunting animals to feed, to eat, that is not immoral. That is a necessity. That is survival. You are not born with knowledge. You are born with survival skills. Unbeknownst, I mean, look, whatever Vegan Gains believes, and listen to this word believe, it doesn't really matter because in the end of the day, you don't know anything. You're a human. That's why you have to read studies and do all these things. You rely on these scientists doing experiments because experiments are based on what? Experience. Experiments are based on experience. Now you got some experience in something. You think you know something, but you still don't know anything. You learn your whole entire life and you die stupid. See what I mean? So yeah, what do you know? Nothing. You have instincts to survive. But people are not even listening to their instincts anymore. They think they actually know something.
That's generally.
Yeah, I mean, thing is, I'm not vegan, right? So I can't say I rely with it because
Yeah,
That made no sense. I am not vegan. You aren't vegan. You're a human. Why are you what you're not an astronaut. You're not a police officer. Here's the thing. When you identify these people, police officers, they're called acting police officers. We call them acting judges, and when they go home, they don't sleep in their robes. So what she should have said was, I'm not an acting vegan, get it? An actor.
agree with the idea of not murdering animals, but I'm still gonna murder animals. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
She's not murdering animals. I don't know what you mean by murdering an animal means that you kill it for no other reason. You discard it. You don't do anything with it. Lions, they don't murder animals. They kill them and they eat them. Yeah, they're not murdering them and just letting them rot. That doesn't make sense.
People are rotten scumbags. Like, this is why I hate most.
No, people are natural. They're normal. That people are becoming unnatural because they're becoming domesticated. That's the problem. Vegan Gains is undernourished. That's what's making him so irritated, and he's deteriorating very fast.
People. It's not even just the like vegan thing
Yeah.
that I have a problem with. Most people have like no fucking strong moral code where even
Again, veganism is artificial. It's fake. It doesn't exist. That's why you're an acting vegan, and she's not. She says, "I'm not an acting vegan." She's not an acting vegan. I don't know what she is. Maybe she's an acting engineer. Okay, and you are an acting vegan. Yeah, you're acting. You're acting. In nature, you wouldn't be doing any of these things. You wouldn't be acting. You would just be doing what is natural, instinctually what is natural. But in this environment, artificial environment, for some reason you think that this is real. This is not real.
when they recognize something's wrong, they'll still do it, they'll still support it, they'll still be complicit, they won't speak out, they'll follow whatever fucking ass.
wait, but what is wrong with eating your natural diet because somebody else has hunted to kill it for you and you haven't done it yourself? I don't understand that. Like, let's say I have some kids and we live in a cave and I go out hunting, I kill the animal. So because I killed it and I chopped it up and I gave it to them to eat, that is immoral? I don't get it.
Whole like tells them to do. Like most people are just fucking scumbags who have no moral backbone. Like I figured this out before I
But I don't understand. They're scumbags because they have no moral background for what? But what place does morals have in nature? That doesn't make any sense. Orcas, they eat the liver right out of the fucking. They eat the liver right out of the shark. They don't even eat the whole shark. They just eat the liver. What morals? They jump into like whales and start eating their tongues. That is crazy. Could you imagine that happening to you? Where's the morals? They come out, they group up, come after seals and eat them. They chase them and eat them. What morals? Where are the morals? A shark will bite you. You go swim in the ocean. There's no morals. He sees you, he bites your leg off, or he kills you, eats you. What morals? See, they don't murder people, these animals. They don't murder other animals. They kill them to eat them. That's how it works in nature. Now, people in this society, they actually murder people. They take a gun and they murder people. They do wars against each other and murder everybody. You understand me? Anybody that murders an animal is I would say is an asshole. Like, I would agree with him. They have no morals. They're an asshole, killing them for no other reason than to kill them. That is murder.
even went vegan, and then veganism just made me realize that even fucking more.
Because I don't live with the stand.
No, veganism, look, man, some of this is based on my experience and some, whatever, opinions and some facts. Veganism is immoral. Veganism is immoral. It's immoral. It's immoral to feed humans. It is immoral to feed carnivores, an artificial diet, artificial plant diet, which is not your diet. That is immoral to do that. Yes.
Before we go on to that, let's just test the morals, the moral aspect of
Yeah,
it,
well,
right?
the moral
See, he's going to test the moral aspect.
aspect, it's obviously.
Yeah.
There is no reason to not justify that.
I like that. Okay. So then what you're having difficulty is aligning your own actions with your own morals. That's what
Yeah.
you're telling me, right? So then what is it, where are you having difficulty with? What is it that is keeping you from being, from not...
It is immoral to deny people their natural diet, okay, which is a carnivore diet. It is also immoral to feed people artificial diets, which are man-made. Pizza is man-made. These fruits and vegetables, they don't exist in nature. They're man-made. They're made on farms. They exist on man-made farms where they engineer them. So it is immoral to feed people engineered fruits and vegetables, which these plants, which are artificial, they're not your diet, they're an artificial diet, and the processed foods that are made from these so-called fruits and vegetables. And it's also immoral to feed people processed meat products because they don't exist in nature. None of these things exist in nature. Therefore, they are immoral.
exploiting animals.
Well, I think it's the own pleasure of people. They're used to it. Like, for example,
They're exploiting animals? How are they exploiting animals? That doesn't make any sense. I don't
eating meat,
understand.
they're used to eating meat.
What do you say to people who claim that harm
They're used to eating meat? Yeah, we eat meat. What do you mean we're used to eating meat? We're not used to eating meat. We have to eat meat. Christ.
Mars isn't a terrorist group, that it's just a lie spread by the media because the media is controlled by Jews? I'm not well read on the...
Think about it. Why are you eating meat? Why have we been eating meat for like centuries, if not hundreds of thousands of years? Why have we been eating meat? Why do we still eat meat? Because that is our natural diet. Anything man made is unnatural. Animals are not man made, they're natural, get it? But it is unnatural to domesticate them. I would say that definitely. Okay?
Topic, and this guy was telling me how Palestine hasn't actually killed kids.
They're fucking delusional retards. Hamas themselves videoed using GoPros the October 7th attack. They've literally videotaped themselves committing acts of terrorism, mass murdering innocent civilians, murdering children, kidnapping women. By definition, a terrorist is somebody who commits acts of violence for the purpose of some sort of political goal. So, by definition, they're a terrorist group. They commit acts of violence to support some sort of political or religious goal that they have.
Who's actually backing all this violence in the world? Think about it. Who's the most powerful nation in the world? Oh, America. Who's the one instigating all these wars out there? You know, the best is they say, I love when they say, oh, Russia invaded Ukraine, an unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. Unprovoked? I've never seen Russia do anything without being provoked to do it. You understand me? It's like when any country or person invaded Russia, tried to invade Russia, or tried to come up against Russia or do something to Russia, it was provoked. It was always provoked. You understand me? But they are the power in that region. You know what I mean? They are the power in that region. They're a huge country, and they want to protect their borders. I don't know, and whatever else going on there. You know what I mean? It just is like that, dude. The world is just like that.
And I mean, what lies are they talking about? Like, we can look at, there's a long, long list of terror attacks attributed to Hamas. It's not.
And Israel is not committing any terrorist attacks at all whatsoever. See what I mean? And the Ukrainians are not committing any terrorist attacks on the Donbass area for God knows how long already. They've been doing that. Like, who's really attacking who in Ukraine? And who's defending who? You know what I mean? It's complicated. I don't know. Why is America threatening China about Taiwan joining China? Eventually, I believe Taiwan will join China. They've joined BRICS already, so they're part of BRICS, so they may join China soon. It'll be a slow progression, it'll be slow at joining, but eventually I believe they're going to join each other, eventually in the end. I don't know.
Just the October 7th attack. Hamas is responsible for some mass stabbings. They've been responsible for bus bombings. They've been responsible for attacking politicians.
Okay, but what provoked these so-called Hamas to do all these things, these mass shootings and mass buses and terrorist attacks and all that weird stuff? What provoked them?
There's a long, long list of
They can't be just doing it for no reason. There must be a reason behind it.
attacks that Hamas is responsible for. So if they're going to say that the Israeli
Why has Israel taken over an entire country called Palestine? Why is there no Palestine country? Why have they taken it? I don't know what's going on there, but whatever.
government has lied about some of these attacks, ask them to name which attacks specifically, like which attacks have been lied about, and ask them to provide evidence that Hamas didn't, in fact, conduct these attacks. They're not going to be able to do that because Hamas has actually taken responsibility for all of these attacks. They want people to know that they're responsible and they did it.
But why do they want people to know that they're responsible for these attacks? Because is it in retaliation for Israel attacking someone?
So it's just insane.
Or is it because the U.S. is controlling everything in the region and stealing oil Is that why they're doing these things? Like, why are they doing this? There's got to be a reason. Why is America in that region stealing oil from these people? How are they allowed to just steal oil from people or steal land from people, oil, their riches? How are they able to do that and get away with it?
Especially when you have the terror group literally filming the attacks they conduct.
But here's the thing, Hamas is from that region, right? I mean, that's where they're from. That's where they live. Why are Americans there? What are they doing there? Exactly. What's their business there? They don't live there. They live 10,000 miles on the other side of the globe. So what really is going on there exactly?
And when they don't film it, they still publicly take responsibility for all of these fucking terror attacks. It's retarded. So that person's just drinking the fucking terrorist Kool-Aid.
Do you think America doesn't conduct any terror attacks anywhere in the world? You think they don't perpetrate some terrorist attacks anywhere in the world? You think they're nice, innocent people? Man, what about the CIA? What have they been doing there in Central America and a bunch of other places in the world, other countries? How long was that war, the Vietnam War? How many countries has America bombed for just no reason than to bomb them? Who's the first country to actually drop atomic bombs? Oh, America. They didn't just drop one, they dropped 2 atomic bombs. Wow, 2 nuclear bombs, not one, but 2. Man, that just says a lot, you know that? That's crazy.
Thanks for that donation, Jesus Christ.
And Vegan Gains is complaining about a small little group of people called Hamas. Meanwhile, America has been bombing Cambodia, Vietnam for like, I don't know, decades, man, and still bombing countries. They're in a proxy war with Russia, killing people left and right. I mean, they're in the Middle East killing people. America's with them together. And he's so worried about what? A little group called Hamas. But see, Vegan Gains has no interest in all these people that America is killing right now in Ukraine, in Palestine, and whatever, Israel, Palestine, and a bunch of other areas there. I mean, like I said, doesn't make any sense to me. I guess vegans don't have any morals. That's why they're so interested in these small groups, but not interested in the big picture. The big picture. They're only interested in the little picture, but not the big picture. See, it's okay for America to mass murder everybody out there around in the world, but poor little Hamas, man, if they do one little wrong thing, well, God forbid, man, Vegan Gains, he's gonna be against that for sure. Because, morals are stepping in, right, when you're enacting vegan.
Vegan Tranny donated $2. Ephilism is based. I don't know how you can think of any amount of pleasure and well-being can outweigh something like, for example, a baby pig being tail clipped without an anesthetic. You don't actually believe that, do you?
Again, these acting vegans, they're so concerned about, what people are eating out there in North America, but not concerned about all the animals that are actually being tortured and killed for no other reason than for entertainment purposes only, like the bullfights, the cockfights, the dog fights, all over around the world in all these weird third world countries and wherever else. I don't know. Where else are doing? What about all the mice that they're killing right now in mass throws? They're killing mice in Australia. They have an influx of mice everywhere and rats, and they're killing these poor mice and rats. Vegan Gains. What about them in mass throws and mass murder? They're torturing and killing these things. What about them, huh? How about the farms that are taking over these poor animals, their land and everything, and the farmers are torturing and killing these animals, and some of them are starving, and then if they come to eat anything, they torture and kill them as well, and they trap them and do a bunch of weird stuff. How about that? Where are your protests there? I mean, you're so busy worried about animals that are made, that are farmed for being, for food, but you're not concerned about the animals that are being tortured and killed out there. But you are saying that the ones that are being farmed are being tortured and killed and then eaten? No, they're just being killed. and being eaten. But these animals out there, the ones I just talked about, they're being murdered. They're being tortured, murdered, killed for no other reason. Man, some of them have even gone extinct. They killed the dingoes and all that in Australia. There's so many animals out there. I don't know what's going on, man, but whatever. What about the animals that are being killed for their tusks, Vegan Gains? What about their tusks? Ivory tusks and all that. What about the animals that are being killed out there for their fur coats and everything? Have you ever been to a fur auction? I worked before in a fur auctioneer place in Toronto. Fur auctioneers. I worked there and I saw all the fur that came in, all the animals that they killed just for their fur. What do you think about that, Vegan? They're being killed for fur. Where are the vegans? Where are the vegans to protect these? To go there and complain about, about that? Come on, man. You have morals, don't you?
So if we're going by,
I think they have a quota. I can't remember now. There's a quota. I remember when I worked there. There's a quota how many polar bears they could kill because their numbers are dwindling. They kill bobcats. They kill everything, man. They have everything. There's sables, you name it, minks. They have them. They have them all, man. Lynxes. They're all dead there. They all kill them. They trap them and kill them and shit and all that. And for what? For what? For money. For money. It's they're not eating them. It's for money. You understand me?
Amendum's definition of ephilism, it makes absolutely no sense. That's why I don't.
How about your dog eating an artificial diet? It's processed. The meat that they serve these dogs, these so-called puppy chows and these processed meat products for animals, that's why their life is shortened, and they also are suffering now too. They're getting sick like us, like humans. They get diabetes, cancer, and a whole bunch of stuff, and they die.
Have an interest in
Where's the morals there? Where's the morals?
debating ephilism with him, because if we're going to go by his definition, it's question begging. I already had the debate on moral realism with him because he's a moral realist, and I was able to prove that he was just equivocating. So his definition of ephilism hinges on the idea of moral realism, and his definition of moral realism is an equivocation. And if you look up his definition of ephilism, it's also question begging. It makes no logical sense. If we were to be charitable and just ignore his definition of ephilism and just go by some general principle that there's no amount of suffering that justifies any amount of well-being, okay, that's just personal preference. No pleasure is infinite, and no suffering is infinite. So you can bring up things like, okay, baby pigs being tail docked or smashed on a concrete floor or whatever type of suffering you want to bring up. None of it is infinite. They're going to suffer a finite degree, and same with well-being. So
Okay, yeah, I don't think that people should be smashing pigs on the floor, their brains, or I don't understand this. These so-called slaughterhouses, they have their way, the way they end these animals' lives. They're not torture houses, but okay, I don't know. Yeah, I think that if there is something going on there, it's regulated by the government. They're supposed to be doing something about that. I never heard of animals being tortured before they're killed. Okay, but they're usually just killed, right? They're slaughtered, and then that's it. But okay, yeah, I don't know. I've seen some things where, like in America, how they kill cows, how they bring them to slaughter. They have a gun and they go in this thing and then bing, it hits them and then they're dead. They don't even know they're dead. But yeah, okay, if people are doing something immoral to these animals before they kill them, like torturing them, then yeah, definitely, I think something should be done for sure.
You can say, okay, well, there is bad suffering in the world, but they're not going to suffer infinitely, and we're moving towards a world that has less of this suffering. So, based on my calculations of how I weigh suffering versus well-being, it makes sense to continue existing. Like, but
Everything is, these are senses. These are senses. Suffering, feeling pain and all that. These are senses, yeah, in the physical world. They exist. I guess they're there, right? You can't feel or touch them, but they're there.
I mean, it's like arguing about
Well, you
pineapple
can feel it, but you can't touch it, but whatever.
on pizza. If you personally don't think the amount of well-being in the world justifies suffering, well, that's your personal preference. Just like how some people might prefer pineapple on pizza. Like, I don't care. It's not an.
I don't know. There's a lot of suffering going on in the world. I mean, there was suffering in World War One, World War Two, and numerous battles all over the world, Europe, Middle East, you name it. You know what I mean? It's just endless suffering. People are suffering right now as we speak from all kinds of things, diseases, you name it, because they're eating an artificial diet and they are suffering before they die. So should humans suffer before they die because your government is feeding you an artificial diet? Isn't that immoral, Vegan Gains? Isn't that immoral that people are suffering before they die? A decrepit death because they're being fed an unnatural diet.
Interesting. Like, it's just not an interesting debate. Thanks for the donation, though, Vegan Tranny.
They grew up eating meat. It's not justifying that.
Yes, I think we're at a real risk of world war at the moment, and I just wish everybody would just chill out, take a break, you know what I mean, and just think we're all humans, we're all animals.
These people know what they're doing but don't make any attempt to make a meaningful change. How is it so fucking hard to just not harm?
How can they change anything? Doesn't make any sense. By screaming and yelling at people in the street who don't have any power, don't work in the chain of command in the government, they have no power. You're just wasting your time. You need to go and you need to talk to the government, man, the chain of command, and you need to fix these problems if animals are being tortured before they're being killed at slaughter.
Animals. These people are just pure scum to be okay with animal abuse and should not exist ASAP.
Again, they should not be abused.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. Thanks for the donation, Lemon. According to a pro-Palestinian I know, they claim Hamas came into power by Israeli funding. They didn't.
How do you know they haven't been? They didn't come into power with Israeli funding, dude. See what I mean? Who's really funding them? What's really going on there exactly? What do you think you know? You don't know anything. Again, there's a bigger picture. I mean, I don't understand. Vegan Gains is really unusual. He comes off as being intelligent, but my father, my stepfather was American. He was an intelligent guy, dude. He was a teacher and everything. He did numerous jobs. He was an engineer, and I learned a lot from him. Especially, it irritates me when people say, "Me and my friend." It's my friend and I. But anyway, because he was always educating me. But whatever. The point is, my father taught me one time. He told me, people fake sophistication. You're faking sophistication. This seems like he's faking sophistication because think about it. All around, there's wars going on, but he's only concerned about what? Hamas, a small little group. But he's not worried about World War III happening, that America is in a proxy war. America is helping Israelis. America is everywhere. They're teasing Iran. They're bothering other people like Libya and all these other countries that are going on. They've most likely bombed the pipelines, the Nord Stream pipelines. They're causing havoc all over the world. They're interrupting. They're busy with governments between Venezuela and these other countries, Central America. They're all busy all over the place there. They caused wars there too as well. The whole what was it? Sandinistas, or whatever the fuck. Sandinistas in fucking what is it, El Salvador, Guatemala, all these problems that are going on there. It's all instigated by America. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, like the bomb dropping, this, that, all the stuff that is going on. America's there. They're involved. Why are they everywhere in the world? They have bases practically in every country in the world. It's crazy. What are they doing there? Why are they still in Germany? World War II has ended. The Russians have left Germany, but America's still there. Everybody else left, but only America's still there. Why are they still there? And why is Germany taking orders from America? And why is NATO so pushy? Well, they are not a defense thing. They're instigating wars. I thought they were for just defense. He's not concerned about any of these things. He's only concerned about what? Hamas. Poor little tiny Hamas. It's like veganism. They're not concerned about all the other things that are going out. These poor animals that are being tortured and killed because these vegan farmers want to take animals' land, and so they're torturing and killing these animals to steal their land from them. Plus, they're killing and torturing animals for what? Their tusks and a bunch of other stuff and their fur. And then there's too many of them, so we need to kill them. We have to go out there. We have to hunt them because they're breeding too much. They're taking over our land and all these other things for no other reason than to just kill them. So vegan is concerned about, he's concerned that you're eating animals that are being farmed, but he's not concerned about all the animals that are being tortured and murdered around the world for like their land and, you know, their fur and their tusks and whatever else, man. You know, their fur and a bunch of other stuff out there. You know what I mean? Like, none of that makes sense to me, man. Or to control or population control of animals. That's why I have to kill them. He's not concerned anyway, or if for entertainment purposes only, like bullfights, cockfights, dogfights, and whatever else the hell they're doing out there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he's not concerned about any of these things, and he's not concerned that the runoff is killing the marine life is being killed by runoff of pesticides all over the place, you know, polluting the waters and all that. You know what I mean? And, you know, these farms, they also grow rubber plants. They make plastic bottles and then they feed them to you, water bottles, and then plastics everywhere. It's in the ocean, it's everywhere. It's in you now. Like, he's not concerned about any of these things. He's just so focused on one small thing, a pebble in the ocean there.
So, Hamas won elections. They were elected democratically.
Yeah, America won some elections too, and look at them running rampant all over the world, instigating wars everywhere and killing people in mass droves in Ukraine and the Middle East. They've been in the Middle East for decades now, ages. What are they doing there exactly? What are they doing there, Vegan Gains? What's America doing there?
Israel.
Don't Americans live in America? What are they doing over there?
Netanyahu explained why he initially helped give some funding towards Hamas. At the time, for one thing, they weren't.
Hamas is just a cover-up, okay? So that they can get rid of these Palestinians. Man, it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Hamas, tiny speck, tiny nobody, just a bunch of people doing who knows what, and who knows who they are exactly. Maybe they're Israelis dressed up, pretending they're called the Hamas. They made up a name, acting Hamas. Get it? Just so the Israelis can push these Palestinians out and steal the rest of their land. You know that, around the region.
Terror group. They were a charity. Secondly, he didn't want the Palestinian
I love how he said they were a charity. Yeah, okay.
population to not have any elected leaders at the time. So he allowed Hamas to be elected democratically. They were a charity group at the time, and Israel was just showing goodwill to the new elected leaders. What they ended up doing was they became a terror group and started.
Leaders? Where does Hamas reside? Where do they live exactly, Vegan Gains? Do you know where Hamas lives? Seriously, do you know where they sleep? They have to sleep. They can't fight all night, 24 hours. They'd be zombies. Where do they live exactly? Do you even know where they live? See what I mean? And if you know where somebody lives, isn't it not easy to take them out? Because they must sleep and live somewhere there in the region. So they have to sleep sometime. They can be easily taken out. So why don't they just take them out? They're nobody. They're a small group. America can take out just about anybody. So you're telling me that America with Israel can't take out this Hamas group? They can't be found?
Committing fucking busts and shit like that, and then eventually shooting rockets. And that's what it led to. Hindsight is always going to be 2020. So, yeah, knowing what we know now, it wasn't a good idea to allow Hamas to win democratic elections. But again, knowing what people knew at the time, would it have made sense for Israel to have done another invasion of Gaza and wipe out democratically elected officials? What would the international community have said? Oh, it's a genocide. Oh, Israel evil. So, there's no winning.
Again, I digress. I mean, Vegan Gain sounds like he's so concerned about this little Hamas, but he's not concerned about the mass murders and disruptions and the looting and stealing that America is doing. He's so concerned about poor little Hamas. Yes.
These pro-Palestinian idiots will say, oh, Israel fucking propped up Hamas so that they could commit this invasion. Okay, if we had an alternate history where Israel invaded...
Hamas wasn't there before, but this was the time to, if there was any good time to get rid of these Palestinians, now was the time during the proxy war that America instigated with Russia in Ukraine.
Gaza and wiped out Hamas either before or after the democratically held elections.
Here's the thing. Why didn't Hamas attack before Ukraine started the war? Why didn't they start before or after it ended? Why did it happen exactly at the same time while this whole thing was going on there in the region? Because this opportunity for Israel to take Gaza Strip now.
While Hamas was still a charity group, guess what the fucking pro-Palestinian cucks would have said? Oh, Israel's genocidal. They're wiping out a fucking charity organization.
No. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about their genocidal wiping out the Palestinians completely off Palestinian land. That's what they're talking about. But I guess they don't have any rights, right? I mean, you care about animals being killed and tortured, but you don't care about humans being killed and tortured. See, that's the thing about these acting vegans. They don't care about other humans and they're grieving and being tortured and killed. They're more concerned about animals that are being used for feed, that are being tortured and killed for you being fed. But they don't care about the animals that are being killed for entertainment purposes, for their carcasses, and for their land, because to spread vegan farms, these artificial farms all over the world to take over their land, and these rubber plants and oil plants and whatever the hell else they're doing out there. See what I mean? He's not concerned about any of these things. Think about it logically and intelligently.
Killing democratically elected officials. So, there's no winning. There's no winning. Anytime Israel shows goodwill to Palestinians, Israel was just planning this so that they could justify another invasion and wipe out Palestinians.
Apparently, it appears that way. Does it not appear that way?
And then if they do what they should have done...
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Yes.
In the past, Israel's committing a genocide. They're destroying democratically elected officials who are just running a charity group. There's no winning.
Yes, I don't know about the Hamas group, but they're genociding the Hamas people. There's no such thing. There's no Hamas. It's just a group, small group. They are genociding and trying to genocide the Palestinians. Yeah.
Israel is always evil no matter what they do because these pro-Palestinian morons just hate Jews. That's all it is. It is nothing but anti-Semitism.
I don't know. The whole hate the Jew thing is really, it's getting old, but yeah, it's old. Why did Hitler hate Jews? Because he blamed them for the economic downfall of Germany. That was the whole reason. Not the fact that they were Jewish. They're gonna be Jewish forever, always. They're always gonna be Jewish. But what was the main reason why Hitler did what he did? Here's the thing: why did Leopold, King Leopold, why did he kill the people and maim them and kill them and torture them in Africa? Why did he do all these nasty things to people, King Leopold? You understand me? Why did he do that? For money. Now, why did Hitler? Why was he so against Jews? They own shops and things, whatever. But he blamed them for everything, for the problems of Germany, and so he put the blame on them. Now, were they to blame for the downfall of Germany and economic woes and whatever else? I don't know. I really doubt that. But in his mind, he believed that. You understand me? So that's what he pursued. Now, as far as King Leopold, why did he kill all these African people, maim them and cut them in pieces of their hands, this, that, do all these nasty things, whatever he was doing there? For money purposes. And it was far away. It was in Africa. It was away from everybody else. It wasn't white people that were dying. It was these poor black people that were dying, a lot of them. See what I mean? All right, is anybody concerned about that? Do you think people were concerned or are concerned about these kind of things? I don't know. What's going on in Africa right now? What do you know about what's going on in Africa right now? Are people being killed, maimed? Are they being used as slaves? Yes. There's many people. Africa's a big place. There's many people, young people, even children. They're being enslaved. They're actually like real slaves. You know what I mean? Not that to say that we aren't slaves. We're enslaved in a different way, but they're really enslaved. You know what I mean? Like seriously slaved. So I mean, is Vegan Gains concerned about those things? Can he do something about it? No, you can't do anything about it. So what's the point?
So when you look at these arguments and you see what they're actually saying, all of this relies on hatred of Jewish people and anti-Semitism. It has
Absolutely not. That's not the reason why, man. They're upset because a lot of it has to do with religion. Okay, that's one of the reasons, which is it's fake anyways. It's acting religion. It's acting, and it's economics, and a bunch of other things. Yeah.
it has no fucking logical basis behind it.
Let's just hug.
Said we're all animals.
You know what I mean?
Are you vegan?
I'm not a vegan, no, but
Well, you said we're all animals.
we are all animals. We are
Should we send animals into slaughterhouses?
We are intelligent apes. We are. We are the most intelligent species on planet Earth. Putin needs. I don't know where I'm going with this, but why is someone like Putin sending people to their deaths? Why? Why?
We can have a
Good question. Why is America sending Ukrainians to their deaths? See what I mean? You can answer. There's an answer. There's an answer for every answer. I mean, he's telling you it's so. Why is Putin sending people to his death, to their deaths? The question is why were Ukrainians attacking the people in the Donbass area? See what I mean? It's not that Putin's sending people to die. He's not sending people to die there. See what I mean? Why did the Ukrainians start attacking the Donbass area after they worked out a deal when they were in Kiev? The Russians stepped into Ukraine. They made a deal. They signed a paper, and then they left. And then the Ukrainians went back to the Donbass area to start attacking the people in the Donbass area. the Russian-speaking Bulgars, which are historically from that region already. It's an ancient region. You can check old maps, you'll see they're Bulgars, okay? But they're Russian-speaking Bulgars because they were subjugated. These Ukrainians and Bulgars and everything were subjugated in the 8th century by the Kievan Rus. They call them Kievan Rus, okay? The Severians, Volhynians, and the Polanians and these Bulgarians, they were all subjugated.
Conversation, but I was having a conversation with them afterwards. If you want, you can wait and we can have a conversation afterwards, okay?
What's wrong about
Sorry.
what's wrong about eating eggs or something like this?
Yeah. So I can go into all of this. So first of all, we oppose the idea that animals should be exploited. Within the egg industry, animals are also exploited. And you might think, oh, it's a little bit of exploitation. It's not that bad, or that's kind of how people see it. That chickens lay eggs and farmers just pick them up and they go about your day. But the chickens that lay eggs, for
Vegan Games is such a brainless retard when it comes to politics. Okay, so I'm gonna ban you unless you come debate me in Discord. So I'm gonna open up my Discord. I'm going to put the link in chat. And if you don't come in and debate me, I'm going to ban you. I'll give you 5 minutes, okay? So there's the link. And if Topher Crump
I agree. He should debate you. Yes, he shouldn't be calling you those names, for sure.
doesn't come in, I'm going to fucking ban you. Okay? Does that sound fair? Fuck you, retard. So, come on. Jump in my Discord. If I'm such a retard about geopolitics, I don't know nothing about the Israel-Palestine conflict, come in and debate me. Okay? I'm waiting. Or, here's the alternative. You can apologize and take back what you just said.
Well, if he was man enough, he would take it back, but he would debate you, definitely. You shouldn't just say something without proving your point or having some opinion. That's kind of ridiculous that he did that, but okay. Yeah. I don't think that guy's gonna debate or come into Discord. Wow, this is quite long already. An hour and 12 minutes. Incredible. Nah, he's not coming, dude.
Weird, I'm not hearing a peep from Topher Crump anymore. Crickets, what's going on? I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. What's going on? Why aren't you in the fucking Discord?
By the way, Vegan Gates, Coca-Cola is extremely bad for you. That phosphoric acid and that corn syrup is just nasty, man. It's gonna kill your DNA. It's gonna kill you. It's gonna kill your mitochondria. When you get older, you're gonna see. Experience tells me you're gonna suffer because, trust me, I went through all these things. Yeah.
Man, you got 405. I know you're trying to play it safe. When you finally put 405 on the bar, it's going to fucking fly. My 1 rep max has dropped down to 365. When I start working out full time again, I'm gonna play it safe too.
Well, thanks, dude. I'm pretty confident I could bench 405 right now. I want to accumulate up as high as I possibly can before attempting it, just to prevent the risk of injury.
By the way, you might want to check out West Coast Wolverine. He's in his late 40s, and you should see his overhead press and his bench press. It's quite remarkable. Yeah, West Coast Natural Wolverine. So you may want to check out his channel there, Vegan Gains. Yeah.
But thanks for the donation, Killing Titan. Appreciate it.
He's got some impressive lifts.
I thought you were all Zen mode after your shroom trip, talking about internalizing nihilism and all that. What happened to Chill Happy Richard, the changed man? Did Jasmine not share her poop with you? Did your brown purple hat cock go soft? Be happy.
Oh, I am happy and content, but if somebody's acting retarded, I'm still gonna call it retardation. Okay, so you're banned, dumbass. See you later. Guess I'm not so stupid after all.
For example, they come from hatcheries, and in hatcheries, there's, of course, it's a place where chickens hatch from eggs, and there's a 50-50 chance that there would be either male or female. If they are male, they are useless to the egg-laying industry, and they don't grow up because they're different chickens to the chickens that you eat normally. So they just get shredded up alive in their first day of life. They go into an industrial blender on their first day of life. So there's that.
For making money.
Can you say that again? Well, because they're useless to the industry. They don't produce anything. They're products to them. That's what they are, right? They're products that they don't need, so they get rid of them. They dispose of them. And
I don't think they just dispose of something, man. They're gonna shred them, and probably, if they are doing that, which I think is kind of nasty, but whatever, they're gonna sell them as products, some product to maybe some animals. I don't know, animal feed, dog feed, who the hell knows? Something like that, yeah.
a normal chicken, like a wild chicken, would normally lay 12 to 15 eggs a year. But these chickens have been selectively bred to lay an egg almost every day. And that is already very consuming on their bodies and all of this. And, you know, in sanctuaries where they rescue chicken, they lay eggs every day, but what they do is they take the eggs and they smash them on the ground, and the chickens come pecking at it because they lack the nutrients. Because, I mean, all of these chickens are, what, this big, and the egg is like this big? Imagine taking an arm out of yourself every single day. It's pretty consuming, isn't it? And you can imagine, because it's their periods. Imagine having your period almost every day for your life, for your whole life. It is consuming, isn't it? Yeah, so that's kind of what it is with eggs. Do you know about the dairy industry?
Yeah, sure.
No, my rent is $2,200 a month. I just figured it's easier to reach a dono goal of 500 per stream. So I just put that up.
Do you know what happens in the dairy industry?
Well, the animals are treated.
Dude, I wish my rent was only $500 a month. Holy fuck, that'd just be fucking amazing. That'd make life so much easier.
2,200 is for rent. That's quite a bit, yeah. That's quite a bit these days.
Badly.
Yeah, but do you know, like, anything about the practices or anything?
Well, there was a video actually from a German YouTuber, and
Yeah.
he went to like a big farm where they showed all the animals.
Yeah.
And they showed pigs and cows and how they were treated.
Yeah.
So like a little, but I'm obviously not.
So
no, the top.
I'll just give you not a quick representation, because also probably dairy, a lot of people don't realize that. So cows produce milk for their babies. They're mammals just like us. We produce milk when we need to be pregnant to produce milk, right? And farmers don't just wait for cows to get them pregnant whenever they want to, but rather they forcefully impregnate them. Somebody puts their hands in their anus, holds their cervix, and then injects bull semen. The bull semen is also
Oh man, that's just, yeah, I don't know.
got like a really weird method where they put an anal dildo in the bull with the electrocute to stimulate them, and then when they ejaculate, they take the semen. It's kind of fucked up already. But this isn't even the messed up part. The messed up part is that
Vegan Tranny donated $2 as well. Ephilism is just a non-speciesist extension of antinatalism. No, it's not. There's pretty big differences. Ephilism is the idea of preventing people from having children and reproducing. Sorry, antinatalism is the idea of preventing people from reproducing and having children. Ethylism is the idea.
Isn't that what vegan diets do? They prevent people from reproducing, having kids. They're infertile.
Of wiping out somebody who's already alive. So there's a pretty huge difference.
I don't know.
Do you know the gold mana argument? I'm not familiar with it. What's your response? Do you think there's a dissimilarity? I've never heard of the argument, so you'd have to explain it to me. Thanks for the donation, Vegan Tranny. If you want, you can hop into Discord and we can debate it.
Well, this is messed up. If you ask me, it's kind of because cows don't agree to any of this. They don't consent to it, yet this happens to them. But after 9 months, when the baby is born, they separate the babies from the mother because the milk has to go for human consumption, not for the babies. Some farmers will say, well, we let them drink, but they very little. They have very little time with their mother. They always get separated, both in the dairy and in the meat industry. That this happens. And if in the dairy industry, if the baby is a male, they're useless to the industry. They don't produce milk, so of course they're classed as waste products. So they get raised up to 1 year and then slaughtered or slaughtered directly, or even so. There's even farms in Netherlands, I think, where animal welfare is pretty high standards, and they found that I think like 70% of farms were just leaving them to die of hunger in their barns, which is also horrific. And if they're female, they get put in the same cycle as their mothers year over.
Okay, I mean, yeah, if they're doing this and it's in a controlled environment, then this is nasty. Somebody should do something about that. That's definitely for sure. I agree.
Years forceful impregnation until like 6 to 8 years when they can no longer justify keeping them alive. And
So what do we do? I think maybe we should lower the human population so that we don't have to do this in mass numbers, and then it's easier to control. See, the problem is when I was a kid, the city I lived in was just like 1 million people. Now, I don't know, it's like 6 million or something. There's a lot of people here. It's a lot of people here, and it keeps growing every day. So, yeah, it was easier to control when there was less people. It was a lot, life was easier, better, nicer. I guess now populations have exploded since the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to the millennium, and now it's just incredibly like boom, people everywhere. It's crowded everywhere you go. Jesus. So yeah, maybe this could be concerning. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should go back to try to keep small populations in the world, regulate human beings or something, how many babies they could have.
like financially, right? Because afterwards they produce way less milk, so farmers say,
I mean, you're getting some people having 5, 6, 7, 8 children. Jesus.
let's send them to the slaughterhouse this year. And they can live up to 20 years, so they don't live even half their life. So would you say that that's a very awful thing to do to these beings?
Yeah.
Yes, after explaining it, yes,
It's horrible, isn't it?
yes, it's very horrible.
Yeah, this is what got me vegan. Hearing about this and learning about this is what got me vegan.
Let me get this straight. So he heard about these cows, or whatever, they're being tortured or something or whatever, and that's what turned him into vegan. So that doesn't make any sense. They're still being tortured, but he turned to vegan, which means acting vegan means they're these actors that eat an artificial diet, plant diets. They eat plant diets, which is not your human diet, because he says the way they're treating the animals that we're eating, that's what we don't like. So I'm going to become vegan because of that. What? That doesn't make any sense. So it's not a movement to prevent that from happening. It's a movement to make you into a plant eater so that you could be further domesticated. You're not domesticated enough. You need to domesticate yourself even more. So how are you helping these animals by turning into a vegan? That doesn't make any sense. You're making it worse. You're making it worse.
And this is standard practice, biological, free range, all of it is the same. It gets even worse in certain situations, but this is across the board standard practice.
Yes, in my opinion, it's very, very good that you're explaining it so well to the people on the street. And
Yeah.
so it's not regular that the people know everything about veganism
It's insane.
like you do. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I want to have these conversations with people, because a lot of people are unaware of what they're paying for, right? And knowing this, what do you feel
Did
about it?
Mrs. Kumar shave your already balding head?
No, I did that myself. Thanks for the donation, Richard Burgess of Nazareth.
Do you feel you want to keep contributing to this industry?
That's a tough question. May I ask how long have you been vegan for?
It's been 2.5 years now, and I was vegetarian for 6 before that.
And what changed your mind? Were
From
there, like,
vegetarian to
yeah.
vegan, hearing about this, about the dairy industry, and realizing I can't justify any of it, like, no matter how I spin it. And the reality is that you have so many options nowadays in supermarkets that
Yeah.
That makes no sense. How are you protecting these animals by becoming a vegan, eating an artificial plant diet? That makes no sense.
what? Oh no, I have to drink, instead of normal yogurt, I'll have to get soy yogurt or something. They taste so similar that it's like, yeah, there's a
So he's not gonna drink normal yogurt. He's gonna drink soy yogurt. What?
difference in taste, but not enough to justify doing this to them. So
Yeah.
But was there someone like you who convinced you to be?
That's okay. I guess this is one way of getting rid of part of the population by, if the COVID, the inject COVID-19 didn't get you, the injections didn't get you, the vegan diet will get you. Get it? And if that doesn't get you, then something else will get you out there. I don't know. I mean, this is a way of getting rid of people, I guess, right? You know what I mean? The supplement industry, the medication, bad teeth, whatever. Bacteria, maybe pesticides, cancer, this, that, whatever you're going to get, metabolic diseases from these artificial diets. You know what I mean? They're ending your lives. They enjoy this. Your life has to go. And you're being tortured before you die. They're all torturing themselves before they die early, all of these people.
no, I watched it on. I watched some videos online, and that convinced me. Yeah.
That's great. I don't want the animals to be tortured, but I will torture myself and die a decrepit, torturous, and I'll kill myself eating an artificial diet. Yes, okay.
Yeah, there wasn't some.
Oh, what?
Maybe Discord another time. I'm sucking dick right now. But anyways, what amount of suffering or direness would reach a threshold where it's ethical to wipe out all life despite the rights violation? According to your ethical framework.
I don't know exactly what the threshold would be, but there certainly is one. If if virtually or all sentient beings were experiencing nothing but suffering and no well-being from the moment they're born till they die, and there's just this infinite cycle of horrible torture, then yeah, I'd be in favor of just wiping out. If
Are these animals being endlessly tortured on these farms? Are they being endlessly tortured before they're killed? What about humans? Are we being endlessly tortured? Endlessly tortured before we die, losing our teeth, getting root canals, getting your teeth pulled out, getting them drilled, filled, our eyesight problems, maybe our hair loss, I don't know, cancer, metabolic diseases, skin diseases, I don't know, broken bones, I don't know, pain, maybe neurological diseases or something, anything, Alzheimer's disease, crippling diseases where you're crippled and stuff. Whatever, dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever. Are these not torturous? Are these not torturous vegan gains that we're suffering from because of an artificial plant vegan diet?
every conscious creature.
Yes.
I don't know though. Like if there was like perpetual World War II where like the entire world was just constantly at war with each other and there were certain nations.
It is constantly at war with each other. America is at war with just about every country. That's how they control the slaves out in the world. How do you think they're able to be an empire? How do you think they're able to have all that power? They've enslaved everybody, and anytime the slaves get out of order, America steps in. They try to put it back into order. They got to keep the slaves in order, like Russia, China, the Middle East, Africa, even Europe is America's slaves. What about Central South America? They're Americans. They're America's slaves. They run the whole world. Some people say police, dude. We're perpetually at war. What are you talking about? This makes no sense.
Nations that were trying to Holocaust other nations. Like I'd probably.
Do you think that America's not trying to Holocaust other nations? What do you think they were doing in North Korea when they bombed the shit out of North Korea? They said they bombed the cities there to dust. There was nothing else to bomb anymore, so they threw the bombs in the ocean and went back to base. They dumped them in the ocean. There was nothing else to bomb. They said that the place was so bombed out. It was crazy. So what kind of human being would do that? Oh, I know. Americans are good people, right? They're innocent, dude. Everybody else is bad. Hamas is bad. They're to blame for the world's problems, right? Russia's they're nasty. And these poor Chinese that love to build infrastructure that don't even fight with anybody. Oh, they're even worse than that too, right? I know. Yes. America's the good guys.
Probably be in favor of wiping out all conscious life at that point. I'm not exactly sure where my threshold would be.
If America could do that, they would.
But thanks for the donation, Vegan Tranny.
Somebody. I don't know if I had met somebody what I would have thought.
America stole Texas from Mexico. They were Mexicans there. So what do? They moved in a whole bunch of white people in there. And then they had a referendum to be a Lone Star state, like the state that became a country called Texas. And then they turned around and they made another referendum to join the United States. And they stole it from the Mexicans. Why don't they give back Texas to Mexico? You know what I mean? Look, Ukraine can never win against Russia. This is ridiculous. That's like Mexico at war with America. Mexico would never beat America, and America would never allow Mexico to beat them. Russia is a massive country. They're the biggest country in the world. They would never allow a pipsqueak country like Ukraine to overwhelm them. That's just ridiculous. It's a war that cannot be won, the proxy war by America. They're insane. You understand me? Americans have got they're an empire that's dying, and they're getting it more and more insane.
He says all that, and she's still like, I don't know, when asked if she'll still support that system of abuse. What a fucking bitch.
Well, yeah, these people are being incredibly dishonest. They're recognizing that what they're doing is wrong, that they're contradicting themselves, and then they're saying, I don't know if I'll change. Like, they're just dickheads. Thanks for the donation, Lemon. If a vegan is blind or needs support, what should they do? Should they just use the government solution, get a guide dog, or use another option? Might cost too much to hire humans 24/7.
I've heard people's eyesights return when they start eating their natural animal-based diet. Their eyesight actually returns. A lot of these people.
It's pretty rare that people need like a guide dog. I've met quite a few
Well, these vegans, they're deteriorating, these acting vegans, so maybe they need the guide dogs. I don't know.
blind people in like Toronto.
You know, nutrient deficiencies can be very serious. It's a serious thing. For an intelligent person like yourself, Vegan Gains, I'm shocked that you wouldn't consider these things, you know, that I've been mentioning in this video.
And they can get around just fine using like a walking stick. They can also use their phone with apps that just, you know, use audio to tell them where they are, and they can just ask for help from people around them. So guide dogs are pretty rare. I don't know too much about this. I don't know when guide dogs are even used to help blind people.
All right.
But I think it's an antiquated idea now that we have smartphones.
Chip is based, am I right? Vegan Power Lab. Do you realize this is the guy you debated about wild animal intervention? Also, what's the difference between sentience and consciousness?
Oh, that's him. I didn't realize it was the same guy.
Sentient? and
There's not
consciousness?
necessarily a difference between sentience and consciousness. It depends on what definition of consciousness you're using. Consciousness can refer to being in a awakened state. So if you're in a coma,
I think that consciousness means that you're aware. You are aware. Now, if you're not aware, then there's something wrong with you.
you're not technically conscious, but you're still sentient. If you're sleeping, you're not technically conscious, but you're still sentient. But consciousness can be used interchangeably with sentience. It just depends on what definition of consciousness you're using or how you're using it. So they can be used interchangeably. Thanks for the donation. Clip is based.
But I would definitely would have looked into it. So I hope that you at least get this from this conversation, that you should look further into it and decide whether you want to pay for this or not. But before we get to that point where we end this conversation,
Yes.
I want to know how you feel in this moment. Like, what is your brain telling you? What is your gut telling you? Do you want to contribute to this?
Yes, in this moment I feel very horrible for
Yeah.
eating meat the whole day. So
Yeah.
you showed up the whole facts
Yeah.
about veganism and vegetarian. So yes,
Yeah,
I
and
feel
keep in mind,
absolutely-
vegetarians, it's a diet. It's not a lifestyle, right? Vegetarians still consume dairy, still consume eggs. They still participate in all of this exploitation.
But I think it's still good eating vegetarian than eating meat.
Is there a difference?
It's better.
Is there a difference? Because
What? Vegetarians are better than eating your natural diet meat? That absolutely made no sense. I don't even know if this guy even understands anything. The problem with these slaves, they've been so conditioned at this point that, and so domesticated, should I say conditioned, I say domesticated, that they have no clue even what the hell is going on out there in nature. They don't even know, they don't even think about nature. They didn't even mention nature once because it's the artificial environment, bro. Get it? I don't know. They're in a zoo called the city.
animals still get exploited, they still go to slaughter.
They do. Animals get exploited. We are animals, and guess where you are? You're in a prison. It's just you don't have any bars on this prison. You think you're free, but in fact, you're not free. Anywhere you go on this planet, you are not free. You want to know why? Because you're a human. That's why you have a passport. Animals are free. They can roam anywhere they want to go. They could go anywhere. They don't need a passport. But how come you need a passport? You want to know why? Because you're a slave. You understand me? There's nowhere for you to go. In the way you are in prison, you're imprisoned on this planet. You can't leave the planet. You understand me? And they know you can't leave. You can't go anywhere. And so they simply control you slaves with passports and things like that. Documents, passports, a birth certificate with a number on it. You can check that birth certificate.